Welcome to the Action Tips and Tricks webinar series. This week's topic is what is new in 2025 R2. I would like to introduce you to today's presenter, Angel Moralda. He's an application consultant here at Action.
Hello and welcome to Action's Tips and Tricks today. Today I will be covering some highlights that came out in the 2025 release 2.
I'm going to stop you right there. Angel, I lost your screen. Okay, there you go.
Can you guys see my screen now?
I can see your screen now. Yeah, I lost the PowerPoint slides.
Oh, okay. So today we'll be covering some highlights for the latest release as it relates to CRE. You should see my Sage Intacct screen right now. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So the topics on today's agenda will center around vendor compliance, purchasing details, change orders, and the ability to duplicate project contracts. So with that, we will dive in here. So one of the new releases that came out with vendor compliance is the ability to assign secondary lien waivers. So with this example, we're going to look at a subcontract transaction definition. And we'll just give this a second to load here. So if we come into the subcontracts list screen here, I've created a subcontract specifically for this example. We'll come over here to the left-hand side and click Edit. That'll bring us into the contract. And we'll see a list of tabs across the top here. So we'll come over to our secondary vendors. And so this is one of the first new tabs that you'll see in this screen. And we will put in our secondary vendor name, XYZ Contracting. And when we hit tab, you'll see that it'll bring in the primary vendor name and the secondary vendor name. If we slide over here where it says generate additional invoice lien waivers, and we select this, this will allow Sage Intacct to create duplicate lien waivers for your primary and your secondary vendors. And then if we come over here to additional payment lien waivers, we can select do not generate. We can generate for all payments, although that is not a recommended practice, only because that's can become very unmanageable. And we can select generate for joint check payments only. So we'll select that and we'll click done here. And so now that is, we've got our secondary vendor set up on this contract. So if we come over to our compliance records, you'll see I did previously create some lien waivers for that contract. So the invoice was for $25,000. And so if we come here and we select view on this second lien waiver here, you'll see that this particular lien waiver was created for the secondary vendor. And then we've got the secondary vendor flagged. So that lets us know that this lien waiver is related to the secondary vendor. And if we click on this first one here, we'll see it doesn't have any of the secondary vendor flags, but this is the duplicate lien waiver that was created for the primary vendor. So another new feature with the secondary vendor compliance that you'll notice is the secondary vendor compliance template. So if we come up here to our purchasing and we come to our setup tab and we come over here under vendor compliance, we'll go to our compliance types and we'll come down here to lien waiver, and we're just going to click edit here to look at this. So you'll see here, previously we only had compliance template and final compliance template. So now Sage has given us a secondary vendor compliance template. So we can now upload a secondary template, and I've just uploaded one just for example. You don't have to upload this, it's just an option. And to do that, we would go to our platform services. We'll come here to platform services. We'll come here to our printed doc templates. And if I scroll down here, you'll see here were the original lien waivers, and here's the secondary lien waiver. And so we would just duplicate this and add that document, make sure that it's in the right application and template type. And that would give us the ability to print that that second lien waiver. And so then the last feature to point out with the vendor compliance is we now have the ability to create smart rules and smart events on compliance related items. And so we'll come here, we'll do a simple example for a smart rule for purposes of this presentation. And so we'll come here, we create a new smart rule by selecting add here in the top right. And we'll come here to our owner object, and we'll scroll down and we will see that we now have the compliance definition and the compliance record objects available to us. So we'll select compliance record and we'll click next. Our rule properties, we're going to select a type. So for this example, we're just going to select a warning instead of an error. The warning is a soft stop, the error is a hard stop. Here in events, we'll select, and we want to use add and set. And then we need to add a condition. And so to do that, we'll come up to the top right that says field lookup. We'll click the field lookup, and you'll see all of the fields that are available for us to condition on. For this example, we're going to use the expiration date. We'll select OK. And we want to condition this to look for the expiration date is blank. And so we'll say in the error message, please fill in expiration. We'll come over here and select next. And we need to give our smart rule an ID. So we'll call it compliance expiration, and we'll save that. And so now we'll see when we come into our compliance records and we try to edit a compliance record that doesn't have an expiration date, we'll save it and we'll get this warning here, and it's yellow, and it tells us that we've violated our smart rule, but it's a soft stop, so we can push through this. And so to do that, you just click save again, or you can enter an expiration date. The next feature to note is the ability to view all of your purchasing information in one location. This will enhance your workflow for AP, which is great. So we're going to go to the subcontract again for this example, and we're going to come here to view, and we'll see a list of tabs across the top here. We're going to come over here to the end, and we're going to select primary document details. And now we'll see that we can see our primary document details with the original amount, the state, the type, the transaction type. We can see our document project. We can see the amount that's been invoiced, the retainage that's held, um, the remaining balance to invoice. We can come down here to primary document details, and we have another view of all of that information that was up in this grid here. And then we can also get to our project from here just by clicking that project ID link there. If we needed to make any edits to the project, we could do that as well. In that pop-up screen, we see our accounts payable bills now. So we can also pull that bill up, which is really neat. We can expand this, and then we can edit this bill if we wanted to. Granted, the bill has not been paid. So we'll click the X there. We'll come down. Any retainage release bills will show up here, and any AP payments will show up here. And so if you come to the screen and there's nothing showing up because there might be contracts that were created before the release, you'll just come here and click refresh all data, and then everything will show up. Okay, so the next feature we'd like to highlight is the new functionality with project change orders. So we're going to show you what it used to look like by going to change requests. We're going to come here, we're going to click add a change request, and you'll see up here the only options that we have available are draft and post. And so you know, you're filling out this change request, and you know, you need to reach out to the project manager or something to get some more information, and you clicked draft. Clicking draft would then take us back to this list screen here, and then we would have to go and search for that particular change order in this list again. Now, if we come to our projects and our project change orders, we click add, you'll see we now have the ability to post and continue or draft and continue. And so we would put our information in here as usual, but now we can click this draft and continue, and Sage Intacct would keep us in this screen instead of kicking us back to that list screen. So now you can, make phone calls if you need to make phone calls. This will significantly improve your workflow during this process. We can now import multiple project change orders at once. So this is a really cool feature. And the way we do that is coming up here to the import button. We can download our project change order template. And then we can choose that file once we've filled it in. And let's come here. We can then choose that file once it's been populated and then import it all in the same screen. Alternatively, you could go to company and set up import data. Control F, type in change and it'll highlight project change orders here, and we can download a template from here as well and import it here as well. Next, we'd like to highlight the new functionality related to project contracts. So this release is related specifically to time and material projects. So we'll come down here and we'll select our time and material contract. We'll select edit. And what we can do now is duplicate our project contracts to create new ones to kind of expedite that process. So when we come in to the project contract, we'll scroll down to our line ID. We'll select that line ID. We'll come in to this dialog screen here for the project contract line. We'll come over to our cost code, and we'll just review this to make sure that these are all the cost codes that we want. We'll click done. Once we've confirmed that, we can come up here to the duplicate button, select duplicate. That opens this dialog box here. We'll select retain cost code mapping for time and material project contract lines and select duplicate. And we can put in our information. We'll select our project. You'll select the customer. We'll select our contract date. And we'll come down here to our project contract lines, and we'll just pop back in here just to make sure that everything copied over. Looks good. You can remove cost codes if you like, add more if you like, and save. So this feature significantly enhances this workflow. A lot less button clicks for you when creating new project contract lines. Lastly, we'd like to point out that time and expense is now they're two separate applications. So if we come in here to our roles, we need to make sure that we update our admin role for expenses and time, and make sure that that we've got everything updated here. So as always, these releases can be found on your home page. When you come in here, you'll see Intacct product updates. The release will be here. There'll be a link here to click that'll allow you to read the release notes. We did not cover all of the releases, but there are some other releases that that came out related to core. You can also come here to the 2025 release calendar. You can see when the next release is slated. R3, August 8th, and then finally R4 on November 7th. We can come in here and click financials, and you can come in here and review. I encourage you to do that. Come review some of the other functionality that's come available. We reviewed construction and real estate today. So if we click that, you can come in here and you'll see a synopsis of everything that we looked at. And then if there's more information that you want to find and learn about the lien waivers, over here in the right section here, you'll see there's several videos that are available for you to view for secondary vendors and joint payees, and how to manage lien waivers. Thanks for joining us today, and that will conclude today's presentation.
Thanks, Angel. This was great. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or support@action.com, and we would be happy to get your questions answered. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.